Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a very nice grape soda. So welcome back to the game and indeed the Extreme Testing Initiative. This is the episode where we put the recently completed facility through its paces by inducing certain events that may or may not occur naturally during the prison's lifetime. This is the recently completed normal category female family inmates build, and we also have some criminally insane and indeed death row as well. Oh, and I guess we can't leave out protective custody, and well, we want to see what happens when certain things happen, such as if we go over to the staff here, we have the option for instant riot, instant jailbreak, instant fight, etc., and something where they're just all armed. So we're going to activate these one at a time and see what the prisoners do and see how the prison is affected. We're not going to be calling in guards responses. We're not going to be doing any lockdowns or anything like that. We just want to activate it and see how the guards and the patrols and everything else, and obviously snipers, fare with what's happened. So we're going to say what happens if every single prisoner decides to try and escape. This is the one that worries me the most, actually, and there is well, there's that triggered, put it that way, and now every single prisoner is trying to get out through the front, and well, they are obviously breaking down the doors into this security room where there are stationed many guards, and well, I don't know how that is going to work. The thing is, what they're doing here is technically, you know, it's an action that they shouldn't be able to do, so the guards should put a stop to this. Obviously, we do have the recently built perimeter wall and the barriers and such, so we'll see what happens there. But I'm not, as you can see, acting on like any... oh, actually, is that the... Yeah, there's Alexis Liu there. That's our one and only death row mate who's, well, they're dead. So... that's happened. Anyway, over here we have... oh, lots of escapes. They are... yeah, they're getting out. Okay. Yeah. Most of them have been stopped, though, as you may notice. But a lot of them are charging out because all of the doors are open. So that's what happens if we just don't act on anything. They just charge out. What a surprise. Let's try that again. This time with... a full-on lockdown, because I think we'll see some slightly different behaviours. And is that prisoner armed with a shotgun? Yes, there are. Ah, that's how they're armed with a shotgun. A lot of the inmates have decided to charge into the middle and go into the armory. There's lots of others that haven't done that, but that's a noticeable amount of... yeah, look, they're all coming here and they're not able to get anything because I think the armory's just been completely emptied. So out of the 160 odd inmates, yeah, about a third have escaped and are continuing to do so. Okay, let's try that again, but this time we're going to lock it down. So loading the facility again on roughly the same time, everybody in the canteen here because of eat time. Let's go ahead and say instant jailbreak, but this time we want to say, hang on, no, it is all sectors, lock the doors. Lock the doors down. Now this is a bit of a double-edged sword because doing this means that the inmates are going to have to smash through the doors, but also you can't get through the doors either. So you've got things like the orderlies and such and the guards, they can't go through it either. So they'll just stop. And we've already got someone at the front door. Interesting. Oh, a lot of them at the front door, and there's, we can see just a whole horde of inmates just charging towards the front here. Because of the lockdown, it means that these gates are shut too. Now, I've just had a bit of luck here. This prisoner bus, you might notice, has just sort of clipped through. It's a bit of a quirk with the game. If you put the road gate next to the road as close as you can, and then make a gap of 2, even 1 is fine, and put the road barrier there, because the bus is longer than this, it actually clips straight through and does that, so you don't even have to open it. But we do have automatic door openers. There is an inmate here armed with a quill. A fountain pen, should I say, and they're in this staff-only area. I don't know how they've got there. We also have our, Alexis Liu, should I say, who's trying to escape, and lots of them just generally fighting in their cells. But the escape horde is at the front. And if anything, this is worse than before. Guard response. Like that. Just go guard response. Like that. And emergencies. Riot police and paramedics, please and thank you. Because we're going to need them. Ah. But can they get through? We've already had an escape. And it looks like they've jumped over the wall. Yeah, there it is, look. Climbing rope. Fair enough. The prisoners are at the road barrier. But we're unable to bring in the armed response. Interesting. And if I turn lockdown off, all these are going to escape. But that process is going to happen anyway, so I'm going to have to just turn it off. So these guys come in and just say stop, but then no, they decide to open the floodgates. And, yeah, okay, so that's a thing. What was it, 51 escapes last time? And after acting, it's now 48. So it's slightly better, but it didn't really do anything if we're honest with one another. However, what if we in advance put all of our security force at the front? That may, again, yield different results. So what we're going to do this time is go for emergencies. We're going to call in riot police and paramedics. They're going to come in and, yeah, charge into here. And then all of these are going to be positioned in security, like that. And then we'll activate the escape, and then we'll do... I don't think a lockdown is worth it, but I think, for the sake of trying, we're going to activate it, because they're going to have to smash through the front anyway, and it does mean with the full-on lockdown, yes, the road barrier is shut as well. So lockdown, all sectors, and then we initiate the instant jailbreak. So like I said, jailbreak, there's other ones like fighting and riots and such, but the jailbreak is them solely wanting to get out. So they'll use any means at their disposal. A lot of the time they're just running and fighting through the road gate. That's what they'll do. But often at times as well, they think, right, the best way to escape is by getting a weapon. That means going through the armory, which means, well, this. They're smashing through into the armory. We can see once again the escape horde, one there and one there, who is charging through, and yes, they are going to start smashing open the doors at the front. I'm going to go with guard response and initiate guard response over here, so as many guards as we can possibly get. And now why are the riot guards not doing anything? They are literally letting them walk past, right? Free fire? No, apparently that... apparently they've decided that they're not too bothered about these guys escaping. This may be due to the mod, which is a reason why I don't often use mods, but because they're not... because they're not, like, rioting... The riot police are not bothered. They're just not bothered. Not my job. We've with all of the riot police and all of the escape and all of the paramedics, we've had more escapes with this one than the past one. Good grief. Okay. Let's try something different. We can safely assume that when every single inmate in the facility wants to escape, they can definitely escape. Has that happened before? No. Will it? No. But will maybe a full-on riot kick off? Or fighting? Potentially. So this time we're going to try a fight, and it's over to staff, and then it is an instant fight. So every single prisoner is wanting to fight. Now this is going to be a bit of a powder keg, because as we've seen, we have criminally insane inmates, and we have the normal category inmates as well. Some of them inmates are fighting the guards, some of them are fighting each other, and some of them may even want to try and run out. And, well, no, for the most part, it is just a case of ultra-violence. We've had 9 deaths, there's 10, we've got, you can see the laser lines there, and we have also got the orderlies running around trying to dissuade the criminally insane inmates from their current actions. And it appears that... oh, look at that. That's some nice emergent behaviour. One of the guards ran to another guard and healed them up. That's interesting. We also have a lot of stun buttons. It's not something that I planned for, just how we've got it. And, oh, riots are underway. So we didn't tell the mod. We didn't activate the Riot mod. That's going to be next. But yes, they are indeed rioting. 25 deaths so far. Most of the riot, I think, is concentrated in and around the kitchen and canteen, which is to be expected because that's where they all were. And yes, that is very much kicking off. Yeah. So, no one escaped. No one's escaped yet. Oh, there's Prisoner Hill. Layla Hill, who's run in and is attacking the criminally... not the criminally insane inmates, the protective custody inmates. In fact, a protective custody inmate is attacking another protective custody inmate, and... there we go. Alright. Well, this is to be expected. What I am noting, though, is although the riot is still ongoing, it is going down. It was about 13 prisoners before, we're down to 8. We are seeing guards in and around this area. Lots of people cuffed. Lots of people sedated. And a lot of staff resting. Not one, however, made it to the armory, which is curious. They started fighting. They didn't want to get weapons. And there we go. That's it. So without any intervention from ourselves, no guard responses, no free fires, lockdowns, anything like that, when every single prisoner starts to fight, we do get 34 deaths, which I believe is a failure state. Over 20 is a failure state. So what'll happen is we'll get the event that says don't have more than 3 prisoners die. We could then pick up legal defense and just cancel it. Or we might get an alert to say, oh no, yeah, over 20 I think it says don't let that happen again. If it happens again, it is pretty much game over. You have like a 5 grace period, I think. We've had that when we did the legendary prisoner with gangs. That was not a serene adventure. Okay, let's try this again, but with all of them rioting, and we'll see what they take over. So again, it is the same time of day. And they are all hanging around in the kitchen and canteen eating, well, apparently a variety of bacon, and whatever that is, some sort of muesli or oatmeal or something. And, well, let's go with the instant riot. So this is where 130 prisoners riot, immediately take over the canteen. What a surprise. But also, I'm guessing, yes, there you go. So this is where they are taking over the protective custody area. I'm going to guesstimate that, yeah, we've got our... yeah, death row inmate there. And some of them are probably going to try and take over their cells. But there's not many. There isn't many. Already 30 prisoners have ceased their actions. Most of them have... well, they've charged into the kitchen. They've grabbed loads of stuff. And now they're charging around into the staff area. Specifically towards the office of the foreman. I don't understand the foreman. Why the foreman? Is it because they were literally the closest? Probably. I mean, they're in the warden's office. There's Dr. Slugworth there. And Lucy Hurdley is staring them down with their green face and hand. I guess we got that infection going on. Doesn't say, though. And they're not doing anything. So, there we go. There's 68 prisoners rioting. Bit of fighting in and around the yard. Only 10 deaths. Which is surprising. So that's coming down now. We're under half of what we started with, fighting. There's a couple of lines coming from the snipers, like that. But without any guard response, well, any ordering of guards and that sort of thing, the riot is pretty much over. So I am going to call in the riot guards, just because I want to see if they actually work. So there's the riot guards. Bring them in the middle. And there's a CO. I was going to say, I need to get it under control. And it is under control. Okay. So there's that done. Alright. The riot was the easy one to deal with. Interesting. So, that only leaves, then, one option. Oh dear. And for those that have watched the series before, you know what's coming, but for anyone that hasn't, we have an option called the Sambot Special, which is part of the mod, which gives every single prisoner some sort of weapon or tool. So we've got, in no particular order, we've got some SMGs, we've got handguns, we've got revolvers, we've got drills, we've got wooden clubs, shotguns. Looks like the wooden clubs were a bit shortchanged on that one. We've got, actually the rope. It's probably the sniper rifles, the lot. But now, here's the thing. What are they going to do with it? And it appears that they are trying to escape. Some of them will generally fight. Some of them will, try to break in and take out certain inmates, but I think most of them are going to try and escape. So let's go ahead. We know they're coming to the front. We know that this is going to happen. We're going to go with guard response. I'm going to issue a guard response over here, as many as I probably can. That's about right. And then emergencies, riot police, paramedics. Let's get those in and get them stopping the actions of all of these inmates. So we'll just select those guys and say, look, just hang around there, because they're going to come through. There they are. They're coming through now. And are they going to do anything? So they are shooting, and you would think that... Good grief. That noise there is... Yeah, that's them breaking open the front. It's actually impossible to see what's going on, really. There is the fighting there. And they're charging through the front. The riot guards they're not doing anything. I'm going to try something, right? Because these guys are out. That's happened. Instant riot. There's the riot. And the riot police. They're not too concerned, really. Am I missing something? Where's the paramedics? Oh, the paramedics are going and healing people. There's the riot guard. There you go. When you tell them to manually fight, then they start fighting. So for some reason they're not automatically doing it. I can't remember that ever happening. But they're definitely stopping them now. So we do have some prisoners that got towards the end, but they didn't escape. But I think that's because we turned it from the everybody armed to everybody riot. And it appears that every single one of the riot police is dead. Yep, that's that happened. Okay. Oh, and there you go. They're taking over a huge part of the prison now. Yes, apparently if you give the prisoners... If you give them all weapons, they just want to escape with said weapons, and they will... Yes, they will use them weapons against anyone or anything in their way, i.e. guards and doors. But you give them weapons, they get to the front, and then tell them to riot, well, the result is pretty much to be expected. That has been the Extreme Testing Initiative. What have we learnt? Honestly, not much. Often at times we learn with these, it's a bit of a mess around. Let's, cards on table here. But we often learn some valuable information. Where's the weak spot? Where are the prisoners heading to? We know they're going to the armory. We knew that was a thing. How can we fix it? More fencing. More walls. No, not really. More doors, potentially. Armed guards in the armory. That could help out too. But other than that, we've realised that, no, the only real way out is via over the walls with rope if you've got it, or out the front. And, well, that's not too much of an issue now. And it's certainly, this build is technically better, more secure, should I say, than the last one, because we have the perimeter walls on the front. We have the road gate. We have the road barrier. Either way, we're going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of Prison Architect. Hopefully this has been, if nothing else, a bit of a mess around. Let me know what you think in terms of the build overall, the results we have achieved, and what you would like. Oh, there's actually a prisoner released who's just going about their daily business. Yeah, and what you would like to see in terms of future builds, designs, focuses, and all of that sort of thing. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.